from Chongyang Institute, Liming University of China. I'm so glad to see you again. And my question is about Russia's China policy in the coming 4 years, as well as the future international system changes. Because we know Trump is back. Let me imagine if one day President Trump call you and ask that, like that, let's join forces to contain China. What will you respond? And will you accept President Trump's suggestion, so-called uniting with Russia and resisting China? And my second question is about the future's international system change, because you often mentioned that international system is ongoing fundamental change. So in your eyes, what will the international order and framework in the future looks like? And in your eyes, in the future international order and the system, what role should Russia, China, United States act or plan in the future? And how do you consider to coordinate the triangle relationship among Russia, China, and the United States? Thank you.
Well, I'll give it a try, and I'll try to be as succinct as possible. First, China and Russia are cooperating and being friends, not against anyone. Our relationship with China is not aimed at any third party, the US included. Our relation with the People's Republic of China seek to develop and create a favorable environment for ensuring the security of both our nations and peoples. And the same applies to our relations with the United States of America. It would be very difficult for me to even imagine a situation when the president-elect makes such an offer as you mentioned. I think he understands that it is completely divorced from the realities in which we are living. Russia is not going to ally with anyone against anyone. And it seems even increasingly unrealistic to me with regard to China, because with China we've reached an unprecedented level of trust, mutual confidence and friendship. I think such countries as Russia and China that have such a big border and such a long history of coexistence in one space, despite the differences in our cultures, which, however, do espouse similar and common values. I think that in itself is a great achievement, and we have to use it right now, and we have to reinforce it and pass it down to forthcoming generations. As far as the possibility for establishing our relations with the US is concerned, we're open to these possibilities. To a large extent, the ball is in the US's court, because we were not the ones to sour relations with them. We did not introduce any restrictions or sanctions against the US, nor are we facilitating any armed conflicts in the territories in their proximity. We've never sought anything like that, and I would like to say that we've never done anything like that in practice. We do not quite see why the US seems it has the right to do that, and we are hopeful that at the end they will come to realize that they'd better refrain from doing that, because that's what they should be doing if we do not want any global conflicts. But the president-elect of the US, President Trump, spoke along similar lines, so we'll live and see how it plays out in reality. Keeping in mind, of course, that such an institution as the presidency of the US is bound by certain obligations, by certain responsibilities. The president of the US is tied to a certain extent to those people who helped him arrive in power. You know, In the past, Jacques Chirac said, what kind of democracy can we talk about in the US? Because without a billion, if you don't have $1 billion in the pocket, you shouldn't even entertain the thought of participating in the elections, let alone participate in practice. And those people who provide those billions, they participate in building the future team. And if they delegate someone, they have a lever for exerting influence upon those people who will be part of that team. So it's important to see whether the president-elect manages to build good relations with this so-called deep state and also build contacts and relations with the voters. If he keeps his promises, his authority is growing and he can use that authority to become an independent political figure, even in his relations with those influence groups that help him arrive in power. It's a very complex process. What's going to happen in the US is something we cannot tell for sure, but I'm hopeful that our relations with the United States of America will be re-established at a certain point in time, and we are open to that. Thank you. Thank you. From someone from here. Yes.